Hey everybody, welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts Jake Saldati and Chad Rothford. We're here with big leaguer, Fresno State Bulldog, Buchanan Bear,
Atlanta Brave.
now Atlanta Brave. I know you're happy about that because that's your team. Jordan Luplow, hey, thanks for coming on the pod again and doing it before or after one of your workouts today.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on again. Always a pleasure.
We've had you in the cages before a game, driving home from a workout. This might be the first time we've started just at a normal setting.
I know, like at a chill desk spot. Yeah.
Before we talk some baseball stuff, this morning's news. This is Wednesday, the February 1st. Tom Brady is retiring. Do we believe this, or you think this is it? I'm on that side. I think this is it.
This gotta be right. You can't BS us twice, right?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I think with what he went through this year, he's done.
Yeah. I know he didn't want to go out like that. Kind of a tough year. I mean, he still, did pretty well, but not up to Tom Brady standards. So.
No, I agree with that.
Either way.
But what's the standard of a 45-year-old court? You know what I mean? Like,
kind of unprecedented.
He's pretty much made that a standard, so it's kind of tough to.
Well, there's not a lot of guys that you can compare that to either.
Yeah.
The other thing was your lines, bro. I texted you a couple weeks ago on it. How are you feeling about your team? I don't know if a lot of people know you're a Lions fan, but it was said on here prior. How are you feeling about? They finished pretty strong, dude.
Good, man. I was the most surprised at Jared Goff. Like, I didn't love that trade at first. And I don't know. I love Matt Stafford and I love what he did. And obviously congrats to him on that Super Bowl last year. But Goff, like, really impressed me this year. The way he handled that offense and the way, like, they scored a lot of points this year. And that hasn't been the case for a while. Like, it was pretty consistent. Like, they're putting up 30 points a game. Like, it was impressive, man. Tighten up the defense a little bit. You got a chance.
No, I totally agree. Now we have our Super Bowl matchup. The NFL's rigged. Apparently, that's all I keep reading is NFL's rigged. You're going to be gone, though, right? By the time the Super Bowl hits Arizona?
No, I'm here. But, dude, it's impossible to get tickets. It was like $10,000 to get a ticket. And I'm like, dude, I'd rather watch it on TV.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, then I think the Waste Management's the same weekend, right?
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a party that weekend in Arizona. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Dude, it's nuts here. Yeah.
So who are you going to take then? You got a team either way. You go KC, Eagles. You going to put some money on this?
I don't know. I mean, I'm always going to put money on it. I got it. Got a scratch, Man, dude, the Eagles have just looked so good. But when I think of Philadelphia, I just think of how bad the fans are and like how rough they are on opposing teams, which is great I guess it's rough on both teams, but like you come in as a visitor, it's tough. And so I don't know. That left a sour taste in my mouth, but I don't know. If I had to put money on it, I'd probably go Eagles, depending on what the spread is. I haven't looked at that yet, but
I don't even know if they put that out. I don't even know if they put it out yet. Maybe they have. I'm not sure. I'm with you. I'm
played us with the Patrick Mahomes high ankle sprain. Like, he was pretty much fine. Like, he was good.
So do you think that was really a high ankle sprain? Because I've talked to a lot of my friends. They're like, dude, there's no way.
Dude, I go into PT and the trainer's like, hey, if it's a legit high ankle sprain, like, he's going to have a real hard time moving. And so I just put the house on Cincy. That didn't work out.
Do you think that the refs maybe helped that out a little bit? Like, I mean, I had an argument about this. Is why I say it that way, because I had an argument about it. Like, I'm sorry that momentum, whatever, you just get a stop on. Like, the one getting the extra down was just crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that happens in every sport. Like, there's especially in a big game, it just gets magnified, right? Like if the ref plays a role in something, then it's just like, well, what if they didn't do that, or what if they didn't? But like, dude, you know the rules. Like, I mean, you push Patrick Mahomes. You do that any regular season game, postseason game, like, gonna get called. Like,
Yeah,
you got to know. You know, I know you're playing hard and trying your best, but like, dude, you got to be smart at the same time.
I think that was more of a flop rather than a push.
but he was out of bounds is the thing. I thought it was a penalty all day.
No, I don't.
No?
No.
Oh my God.
If that's your team and that's you're not wanting that call. You're not saying that's a
Well, I don't have a team, so I didn't really have a winner in that. I don't know. I hate like flopping. I just hate it. Like
I get it, but it was a penalty.
But like if he doesn't flop, he doesn't fall to the ground. There might not even be a call.
True.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because the guy didn't really push him. He was almost trying to get his own balance. He almost broke his leg falling down anyways, the guy from the Bengals. So I don't know. It is what it is. Patrick Mahomes, the NFL is gonna try to make Patrick Mahomes the next Tom Brady and win all these Super Bowls. And
so are you saying it's rigged?
I mean, it's not. There's no way it's rigged because you have, Loop knows way more than we do. Being a professional athlete, it's like it's hard to be like, "Hey, Loop, I need you to hit a home run in this at bat, right?" You know what I mean? So it's like, "Oh, you're gonna throw a 90-yard touchdown right here." Like it's not rigged like that, but I do think that refs might make some calls to sway, the momentum.
Yeah, I just thought at third down they got to stop. The Cincinnati Bengals did, thinking they're getting off the field, and then all of a sudden the ref's like, no, the clocks was running. This wasn't right. You get to do third down over again. I don't know when they're going to do it, but you guys don't get to challenge, well, that was, if an umpire calls a strike and it was a ball, you don't get to reverse it after the fact. They say, well, that was a ball, so let's change the count. That doesn't happen in baseball. I just thought it was weird that in football, the play ran, they got to stop, and then the ref.
I mean, everybody was off the field already.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, I don't think it's rigged either. The other one that this guy, and I mean, you could, again, big baseball injury was Brock Purdy's. Do you want to go ahead and you voice it? You tweeted it.
Well, I was just pissed off that people would actually think this guy's soft or like doing this on purpose, like not playing when here's a guy, last pick in the draft. He's got everything in front of him to prove all these people wrong. And then in the biggest game of his life, he's going to be soft faking and like puss out and fake an injury, or like, I just think that was kind of BS by all these people that, would say stuff. And obviously I didn't know it was a UCL injury, but that's the first thing that came to my head was when the elbow goes back like that. But, finding out that it was a UCL injury and the fact that he was playing catch on the sideline, like throwing, and then still threw 2 passes in the game. Like I had Tommy John. I remember when it happened and there was no shot I was going to throw another baseball. So, I mean, he was not soft. I just think that, to take somebody's character like that and just think that he would do that in the biggest game. Like you said, no, he doesn't want to go to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the guy's not, he doesn't want to go to the Super Bowl.
I don't work my whole life to just like flop out right before the Super Bowl. You're right. Yeah. That's what I want to do.
But I mean, you get to deal with that on a daily basis. Like fans expect expectations, or like just to make it sound or seem it's so easy. I was having a conversation with somebody about like, oh, but Mahomes was hurt, and I'm like, yeah, who's not hurt at this point in the year? Like come October baseball, you've been in the playoffs, right? Who's not dealing with ailments? Who's not hurting at that point of the season?
There's something. You got a shoulder, you got a hip, a hammy, a calf, something. It ain't right.
Yeah, it's not like the guy's not trying to get. And I was reading that. I read some stuff.
It just bothered me.
There was a couple articles I was reading online yesterday, and there was comments, and the comments were just like, "Oh, he was soft," and it's like, yeah. And then the UCL comes out. I'm like, okay, the 6 months for that seems pretty fast, yeah.
Or well, no? Like I said, now I mean, mine wasn't 10. And that was like 12 to 15 months, they were saying. So, and I've seen guys, I mean, you've seen Luke, probably some big league guys and stuff. They come back in 9 months or, less than a year nowadays. I think it's doable with the, obviously the right treatment and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It might be different with football, maybe because it's like a different. I mean, it's the
More
same
short.
throwing, but like I don't know, like throwing a football, I guess is like better on your arm than throwing a baseball. That's why guys do it to warm up. Like a lot of like relievers or pitchers or whatever, they'll throw the football around just to like warm up. You know.
A lot going on around here, though. Let's get into some baseball. We've had Ovi on to start the year, followed up with Labby, another Fresno State alumni. You also being Fresno State alumni. Before we talk into Ovi being the guy this year to run the program, can you kind of just, one, when Batsole decided to retire, like, did you go back into the memory bank, and do you have anything you could share about your time with Bates that maybe you haven't shared on here before, or at least something that you can share?
Or what he's done for you,
Sure,
just
yeah.
in general, maybe not even baseball wise.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, what a career! Like you just gotta like tip your cap to a guy that came in and turned to. I mean, he had to follow legends before him, coaching wise. So to come in and do what he did, like you just gotta tip your cap and that's a special place to do it at is Fresno State, and kudos to him. And I mean, shoot, you ask any player like what does Bates mean to you? You ask them during their college career, it may not be the exact same responses after. It's his lessons are a lot of you don't understand it in the moment. You may understand it a week later or a month later or 10 years down the road, like what he was trying to get across and get through to you. But it's all genuine and it's all meant to help you as a player and person, succeed. So, yeah, I mean, good to him. He gets to ride off in the sunset. He did everything he could, brought this program, made everyone proud. I know I am. I'm sure you guys are. And, the city of Fresno. So kudos to Bates. And I mean, the one story that always stands out to me is I remember, I want to say it was my freshman year. Yeah, it was my freshman year. I just got there and I was just getting my teeth kicked in by all of these. We had a bunch of senior pitchers and I was just getting my teeth kicked in every fall practice. Like these guys are punching me out, sawing me off. Like I was just getting exposed. And I was going in the cage, just grinding and like trying to figure it out. And I forget I was waiting for someone to pick me up in the parking lot, and Batsole like took me by my shoulder and he was like, "Hey, listen, like I'm here for you to get to the next level. I want you to be a major league baseball player. Like no matter what goes on here, I want you to go to the next level and I want to do everything I can to get you there. Like this stuff that goes on here is great, but I'm going to get you to the next level and I'm going to make sure I do the best possible, I treat you the best possible way I can to get you there, So that was the one moment that stick out to me. And yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. I mean, especially when you're struggling like that,
Mm-hmm.
So now,
Yeah, it was a lot.
now Ovi's the guy. Was he there when you first got there? Was it 11 when you were there?
I was there
Your
in
first year was
12.
12. Yeah, your first year was 12. That's right. Was Ovi?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, he was there. He was there the whole time I was there. Ware was there my first year, and then he left, and that's when Ovi kind of took over his spot. But yeah, Ovi was there.
So when you hear the news that Ovi's going to be the guy this year, obviously playing there, I know we've kind of mentioned it in the last one with Labby that, there's alumni from years past that kind of didn't really accept the transition or take to it maybe as somewhat of thought over the years. But being a Bates guy and then obviously playing with or playing for Coach Overland while he was an assistant there, how do you feel about him going forward leading the program this year?
I love it, man. Like I know not a lot of people are on the train, but Ovi, if there's one guy to take over a program, especially in this fashion, it's right before the season. it's got to be Obi, because he's been under Bates, learning from him for years. Like, who else is gonna? I mean, he's gonna take most of Batesle's things, and he's gonna turn, put his own spin on it and everything. But he's gonna teach those kids in a similar fashion that Batsole did, and he knows the community, he knows what's expected, and he knows how to recruit. And, if you ever sit down and talk baseball with the guy, like, you may be talking to him for, 6 months, and you may hear 3 words, but you talk about baseball, he's one of the smartest baseball minds I've ever been around. Low key, like, knows a lot of stuff, and stuff that you'll never think about. So he's always engaged in the game and, like, what's going on, what's the trend, what do we got to do. So he's always locked in, man.
I asked Labby this, and obviously he was a guy with Coach Bennett. You're with Batsole, you're a Batsole alum, but still a dog, right? And I was asking him, like, is it important to you that it is a dog that takes over? I don't know if this is going to be a guaranteed thing going forward, but at least for this season, it is. We're behind him 100%. But even if, let's say, the season ends and they're not sure what they want to do, like, is it important for you to have a dog at the helm here?
I mean, yeah, it's always nice to have an alumni, like, knowing what he's been through it, right? He's been through the program. He knows what it's like to go to school there, to go, get good grades, do the weight room, do the baseball, like, what it's like in Fresno. You get a guy that comes from somewhere else, like, U of A or ASU or whatever, like, you get another guy, it's like, they don't know the culture here. They don't know the grittiness, the blue collar people that live there. And, like, it's a different atmosphere. So yeah, like, I think he's the best guy to take over for sure.
And I think that's maybe what maybe that's what people didn't love back 20 years ago when Coach Batsole was hired, is maybe they felt that. But talking to him, like, even going back to those times, like, he knew everything about Fresno State. He knew how good they were, that, the mark that Coach Bennett had left. He just put his own spin on stuff. And now it's like, well, he's a bulldog. Like, Coach Batsole is a bulldog to his core. And, I'm with you. I think it'd be nice to have an alumni, like you said, that's been here, played here, worn the colors. He's recruited the last handful of years. I think it's a no-brainer. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Have you talked to him at all?
Yeah, I have. And he's already, doing some different stuff over there at Fresno State. He's very involved in, he wants to turn some things around. He wants to do different things with, the dinner and what the alumni and everything. Like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but it's not a big deal. Like, one of the kids reached out to me, and he's making all these guys kind of research the alumni. I don't know. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about it the other night.
Yeah. So, like, that's cool. That's cool that these kids coming in are going to learn about the previous guys that were there. They may not know some of these guys that have done some of these things. And maybe that's a goal for them to shoot for. They see an Aaron Judge, what he did in college, like, oh, okay, if I can do something like that, I'll put myself in a good spot to get drafted or whatever, help this program win a championship and whatnot. So I don't know, I think it's good, man. I already think he's doing well, and he's already getting after it pretty well.
I think so too. I talked to him after we did the podcast, and he's reaching out to, like, a lot of Bennett's guys too. Like, he's trying to really hone in on that bulldog born, bulldog bred mentality, where whether you played for Biden, Bennett, Batsole, we're all dogs. We're all the same. We come from the same cloth. We want what's best for the program, and I think he's doing a really good job of that. And I know he's contacted a lot of the Bennett guys. My dad was one of them. So, and my dad was surprised too. My dad was like, oh, really? He, wants my information and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, he's trying to reach out. He wants to get the alumni to back everybody up. And I think that's what Fresno State needs in this transition. I think a lot of people are like, oh, we want something shiny, there's a Stanford guy or whatever. But guess what? That guy's not going to come in here and know what he's getting into. It might be, especially this day and age with how people jump around so much, this might be a stepping stone for somebody like that. Come in to a mid-major and do good to go on to a Power 5 or something. Ovi's in this. He's in it for the long haul. He's going to be a bulldog and coach this program for the rest of his career. And I think that's where our community and the alumni from everybody, we need to back that, because he's in it for the right reasons, and we need to get behind him, put our butts in the seats, go support the program, the dinner, and make it bigger than like it used to be. I remember going to Bennett's, and even when Batsole first started, the stands were still full, and those were awesome games going to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you said that well. We'll see, man. I'm excited about this season. They're going to be in your neck of the woods like in another 2 weeks to start spring training down there, which is pretty sweet.
You're going to throw out a first pitch for
the Well, I pushed my flight back. I was going to leave a couple of days early, but I was like, the dogs are coming. I got to at least see the boys.
Yeah, see, that's I'm making the trip there. We kind of talked a little bit, dude. Where the Braves are at, good Lord. Is there anything to do other than play your games?
What's that?
Is there anything to do where you guys are heading for spring training other than playing your games? Because I was like, I might go to Tampa. I want to go because Loop's there, Dylan's there, the Yankees are like an hour away. And then I was like, I felt where the Braves side is, and I'm like, there's nothing out there.
Don't even sweat it, dude. Don't waste your time. It's out in the boonies. I might get a pet alligator. I don't know, dude. That's about all I can do.
How are you feeling, man? Obviously, with a new team this year, with Arizona last year, kind of talk about that, and then just this offseason getting picked up with the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona. Obviously, I was traded there, and so I didn't have like a choice. But I was looking at it as a very like strong opportunity, and everything started off great. I was talking to the coaches. They kept their word with everything, and then kind of slowly but surely, they started trending in a different direction. And sometimes that's how it goes, man. A team like that who's been kind of been the stepping stone for the Dodgers and the Giants and the Padres in that division for a while, like they're trying to turn to their youth and use their draft picks and whatnot and develop those guys. So I think it kind of transitioned earlier in the season than I would have liked. And I didn't have a great year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I didn't have my best year. It's probably my worst year, and I got to accept that and go to work. Like I didn't put the pressure on them like I needed to, but all in all, like the dudes there, phenomenal. Like I'm best friends with a lot of those guys. I still golf with them. The coaching staff was great, but it is what it is. It's a business. They decided to let me go, and now I'm with Atlanta, who was trying to get me before they let me go, but didn't work out. So yeah, now I'm with the Braves.
And you're wearing the bit. Well, can you even say that what your number you're wearing? I know you talked to me about it.
No, it came out already.
Did it come out? Okay.
I saw something about 28, right? Or 25?
20. Oh yeah, 20. Did I tell you they almost pulled that out from under me?
Well, when we talked a couple weeks ago, you were saying it was 25. You were bondsing it.
Yeah, I'm buried. I'm drawing blocks and I'm yanking homers. That's what I'm doing. But I get a text like it might have been last week. When was the Hall of Fame ballot? Last week?
Last week, yeah.
So I get a text like 2 days before it, and they're like, "Hey, we may need to pull your number." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like, why? Like, what's going on?" Like, they're like, "Well, there may or may not be a guy getting inducted in the Hall of Fame named Andrew Jones that wore your number." And I go, "All right, that's valid. Like, I'll take what else we got."
No. That's my number. I'm just kidding.
What if I did? It's like,
oh, that'd be badass.
Nah, that's me. 2'5", me. Oh no. But then they were like 24 or 15. And I was like, I'll go Kobe. So I'll be 2'4".
Best player.
Yeah, dude.
I guess the second best player. Well, Bonds was 24 in college and with the Pirates. So, I mean, 24 is Griffey to me. So,
Should you
Okay,
guys
fair.
have a vote? Should you guys have a vote on the Hall of Fame? Should the players have a vote?
I
Or
feel like
like
A
players that
percentage. A
or
percentage.
players that hit that 10-year mark. Like, should we really? And we may have talked about this before, but is it not? I think it's ridiculous that a couple guys, only 2 guys got in, and then you see ballots that are fucking blank. Like, it makes no sense to me. But I've always, and we, like I said, we might have talked about it. Do you think you guys should have a say?
Yeah, I like that 10-year rule, or 8 or 10 or whatever. Like, you get a guy that's been around the game a while in the big leagues, and I feel like he's got enough knowledge to know who he's inducting into a Hall of Fame, and know a lot about the Hall of Fame. So yeah, that would be cool. I would like to see that.
Yeah, I'd like to see something different. I was watching the MLB Network after they announced Jimmy Roll, what's his name, Scott Rowland, and they were talking about, and it was one of the writers that has a vote. He said that A-Rod has a better chance of getting in now because he is an announcer. He's now more into the public of baseball and all that than Barry Bonds and those guys, just because of that reason. Because now he's a likable guy because he's part of the analytic crew and like does TV and stuff. And one of the comments came up was about Poppy, how they had some steroid scandals with him, but because he was such a nice guy, nobody cared to even look into it or see if they were true or valid. And that's where, to me, it's like, that's not the right way to think about it. Oh, that guy's a nice guy, so he should go in over somebody that is possibly the best player to ever play the game because he wasn't a nice guy. So it's almost like not even a steroid issue anymore. It's the fact that nobody liked him as the writers. And that's the problem I have.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Do you like talking to the media? I don't want to throw you under the bus, but like, do guys really enjoy talking to the media?
Yeah, like, I mean, who to avoid too. Like, there's definitely some guys that will ask some questions that are a little uncalled for, I mean, you just deflect it. Like, it's not like you have to answer it. You don't have to answer anything, So, yeah, you avoid some guys, but the interesting thing is this is such a stat-driven game, and all of a sudden you're inducting people in the Hall of Fame over because they're a nice guy or not. That doesn't make any sense. Like, their whole career was like, oh, they won MVP because they did this, this, and this was their numbers. Like, not because they went and won the Hank Aaron Award or not the Hank Aaron. What's the Roberto Clemente? Community service. Like, they won MVP because they did this and this. So shouldn't the Hall of Fame be the same way?
Yep.
Shouldn't be about like your image or whatever. I mean, if it was about that, I think half the guys wouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame. Like, there were probably some scumbags in there that shouldn't be in there, but there's no social media. There was no social media back then. So like it was whatever. It was just stat driven.
Yeah. Well, so, and I think of like on that team last year when in Arizona, you had like Mad Bum. He had a couple run-ins with umpires during games where
that dude egged him on.
Was that last year? Hilarious, where he was just staring at his eyes, feeling his palm. Yeah. Was it last?
Was that last year or the year before?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was last year in Miami. Yeah, dude, that was weird, man. That was like,
I mean, that was deliberate.
Dude, that was crazy. Looking back at that, like, how does that happen? Like, I don't know. And did he even get suspended?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
The umpire?
Yeah.
No, I don't think anything. Nothing ever came out about it.
Nothing ever happens to them anyway.
No, and I think
Bum's a big donkey. You don't want to fuck with that guy. He's just straight country.
He's thick.
Yeah. I mean, he's not lifting weights. He's throwing hay bales.
But that's another guy that, like, I don't know if Hall of Fame career or not. Some people may argue that it's not. Some are going to argue that it is. But when it comes down to the writers, did they like him enough? Did he piss off enough people to where they're going to hold that against him? That's the shit that's got to stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where you almost just put the numbers out there with no names. I mean, obviously some people will be able to know who's who, but still that should, it shouldn't be about the name. It should be about the stats.
For sure.
Right.
So with the rule changes coming up, I heard I heard a couple guys. Cody Bellinger was one talking about the shift going away and how it's going to open up the game. Which is whatever. Like, I know, you didn't have the best year or the year you wanted to have. I don't think he did either. But I feel like, guys, I've never heard you use that. And you're, being a righty, you don't really deal with a lot of shifts, but there's no excuse anymore. The shift's gone. Like, so if you're hitting, below the Mendoza line, like,
If
you
you're an
can't,
everyday guy,
yeah, if you're playing every day like
150
he's
to-
playing and a former MVP, you can't use the shift anymore as an excuse.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I got shifted a ton. Like, every time that second baseman was like on the other side of the bag. So like anything up the middle to the left side on the ground, like, good luck. It was just like a coin flip. So
and
like,
and you could square it up. You know what I mean? Like, I think you set a ball, you square a ball up the middle, but there's somebody literally behind second base.
dude, like, yeah, it's crazy. I can't tell you how many times I lined out to like the most awkward spot in the infield. I'm like, what is he doing there? Like, what? I hit a line drive and he just caught it right in his chest. It's like, I get I hit ground balls there, but like my line drives are supposed to get through, and they're just like they're standing right there, man. It's crazy. But
So,
like left-handers, like, and Gallo and everyone, like, dude, if you're not, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching with this, but like if you don't hit 300 as a lefty now, like, dude, you have no excuse. Like, you're gonna roll over balls and they're gonna be easy hits. Like, there's not gonna be anyone there. That like shallow right fielder, like, I don't know, unless they're gonna bring the right fielder in and play him shallow and play a 2-man outfield. Like,
well, that's
I
what
don't know.
I think. Was it you and
Does
I
that
talking
count as
about
a
that?
shift?
I think were you and I talking about that? It might have been me and
I
Lab.
don't.
I was
I don't
thinking,
know. I think
so that what are the rules on shifting outfielders? You know, you can't shift the infielder, but if you move the left fielder over, like, what's the difference? When you shift anyways, you're leaving the left side of the infield open. So now you can't do that. You have a shortstop and third baseman there. So why not shift the left fielder over to where the second baseman would have played? And now you force them to drive the ball the other way still. And not on the ground because you're going to have a shortstop there. I don't know what the rules say to that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some people try some shit to shift around the rules.
Oh, 100%, dude. They're gonna find a way. Like, I don't know. I heard someone talking about like the shortstop's gonna get a running start, like freaking XFL football, and like when they throw the pitch and it like crosses home, they're like just getting to the bag, and they're gonna be like in position when they hit a ground ball. Like, I don't know how realistic that was. Maybe it was just someone messing around.
It's funny to visualize though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you excited about then the shift going away?
I mean, yeah, it might help me. I don't think the righties are going to get a ton of like. They're still going to stand right next to second base, anyways, for me until I don't know, shoot the 4-hole a few times, but we'll see. Like, they pitch you if they want you to pull it, they're going to pitch you to pull it. Like, if 97 up and in, you're not going to like go the other way with that. It's tough, you know.
Wait, so hitting it's tough?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're Barry Bonds, which I am now. So
Yeah.
Everybody makes it seem so easy.
Well, and that's like, even for you, like, I know, like, I know you didn't have the year, like you said, you didn't have the year you wanted, but, and I want to be careful because you're not a guy that makes excuses. One.
No.
So I want to make sure we're clear. Like, never once talking to you have you ever made an excuse for however you're doing it.
Even off
the time.
air.
Yeah. But dude, it cannot be easy to not know when you're going to come. I mean, to guess when you're going to come off the bench and have to pinch hit or platoon and play defense or whatever it is, and then to know you're going to face probably somebody that's disgusting throwing 99 miles an hour, and you haven't hit live or you haven't hit in a game in 3 or 4 days. Like, just how difficult really is it? And I don't want the people to think like these are excuses. Just nobody gets to do what you do or see what you do or hear about how it works. And I just want to relay
Your preparation,
that. Right.
Coming off the bench and
yeah, imagine like your fourth at bat of spring training, but like during the year. That's pretty much what it's like. like, you've seen some pitches, but like you're like, you took fouled a couple off, and like you're like, okay, like I can get this by my fourth at bat, and then you just get sawed off. Like, I don't know, like it's basically like you're starting early spring training again, but you're just getting thrown into the fire.
Like all season long, basically.
All season. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the good like managers and stuff kind of learn how to like, okay, this guy needs to play. Like, doesn't matter who it is, work him in a little more to see pitches. But yeah, dude, sometimes you just get thrown in the fire and you just got to go with what you got. If you're pulling that day, you feel like you can pull the ball, you pull the ball. Like if you can going the other way, you do that. If you're feeling froggy, best of luck. It's still all a coin flip. You got like what's that, like 11-sided die? You got to land on like the one number out of 11 to. So yeah.
What was frustrating last year is you had a little stretch there. I think it was kind of early on where, dude, you were just locked in. Like it seemed like you had a home run every single day, or you had a couple hits, or you were driving in some runs, contributing in some way. And I don't know if somebody was hurt and that's why it seemed like you were playing every day. So then it just all of a sudden, like you're hot, and then boom, out of nowhere, you're not in the lineup for a few days. And then it's how hard it is or challenging it is to find that fire again after essentially not playing for 3 or 4 days. I don't know how you guys do it, but again, that's why you guys are professionals too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hit my stride early and, I was doing well, but like I said earlier, they kind of wanted to transition to a different kind of younger team. So, they had something else in mind. So it's kind of out of my control. All I could do was show up and, try and do my best, and whatever situation, you gotta put up with it.
Well, I'm excited for where you're at, dude. This is it's gonna be a good home.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you have any idea what type of role, or has that been discussed at all ahead of time getting into spring training?
There's a couple reasons I made this choice, which was super cool because free agency, like I got to pick where I wanted to go, right? Like there may have not been all 30 teams, asking for me, but there was 10 to 12. And it was like, some were better deals than others. And what they told me was, hey, listen, like you can go to left field and you can play every day. Like your defense is going to be there, which was super cool to hear, right? Like it was, I pride myself on defense. I think that's, a tribute to Batsole and Buchanan and, them coaching me you can always play defense. Offense is going to come and go, but defense is always going to be there. So he was like, I know your defense is going to be there. Like we have a problem in left. Like your defense is better. Your arm is better. Like I could see you playing left field a lot. Like it's up for grabs, man. And I think worst case, I just go back into my platoon role and, we'll see. But he straight up told me, he's like, you got a chance. If you play, you're going to play every day. You play good defense, you hit a little bit, like you're going to be in there. So that was kind of the main reason I went there, is because he sold it on me. The GM was straight up and honest with me. And I had more money elsewhere, to be honest. Like and it's not like I've made a ton of money in my career, like in baseball terms. Like I haven't signed a huge contract, but I think this is a good career move for me. I think going to this org is like, they're going to show me more things than I have in the past, and they're going to get me to be the best ball player I can be. So this was more of a like career strategy move rather than like, I'm going to take all the money right now and like hope for the best.
Well, and I think also, well,
that's what I've been arguing about this whole time with these.
I mean,
he took though, he wants to win, he wants to play over, let me take all the money and maybe I don't play, maybe I play every fourth day, maybe I get optioned, maybe you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it's a fit thing for you.
It's like, a fit, man. That's what we always talk about.
Like the fit for you was right. Like, I mean, that's even at the big league level, that still matters. It's kind of crazy. You don't hear people talk about that stuff in depth. And I think too, not to say that Arizona wasn't a good spot, or there's not. I mean, they're big leaguers. Like, who am I to say they're not a great lineup? But you're now in a situation where it's a pretty stacked lineup. Like that ultimately helps you, I think.
Yeah. Give me the fastballs. Throw the breaking balls.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have guys getting on base. You're going to have an Austin Riley who's a power guy, whether you're hitting behind it or in front of it. Like, you're probably going to get a little more. You probably get some better pitches to hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's another reason too. Like, you know, and I get to be with these guys in the cages every day. Like, and Austin Riley, Matt Olson, like Acuna,
Albies.
who else? Oh, dude, freaking Albies. Like, dude, these guys are crazy good. So it's like being in the cages with them. And that's what helped me in Cleveland too. It was like watching Jose Ramirez, Carlos Santana, like all these guys come and hit. It's like, dude, these are dudes. Like learning what they do and how they do it every day. And, you know, I feel like I got a decent understanding, but it's always good to learn. You know, you always got to be, you know, focused and learning from people around you. But the fit's right, dude. It's just like picking a college. Oh, you wouldn't tell a kid to go to USC just because they offered him like a walk-on if he could go to Fresno State and play every day. Like, you wouldn't tell him to go do that, would you?
No.
No.
But maybe that's kind of today. And maybe it's just my assumption. People see USC and then the glitz and glamour of that over playing every day at a mid-major.
But the glitz and glamour is not going to get you to the next level if you're on the bench.
Look at the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Doesn't that say that basically sums up what you're saying?
Yep.
Like, it's not always the best fit up here.
Dude, like, you can't get better if you don't play. Right? Like, that you can't.
100%.
Like, why would you go to a place where you're not going to play? You need to be able to play and improve your game.
No, 100%.
That should be everyone's number one goal if they're coming out of high school. I know I'm switching the subject and whatnot, but like, I don't know. Like, if you're choosing between all these like big time schools and they're like, hey, we're gonna redshirt you, we'll get you in the next year. Like, dude, go somewhere where you can play. Like, it doesn't matter that you get to go on Twitter and like Instagram and post like USC or ASU or freaking whatever, but then you don't play for 2 years. Like, what does it matter? You just made like, it was cool for 10 minutes and now you're stuck for, 3 years. I guess transfer portal now, but like, yeah.
Even then, you're not guaranteed to go somewhere in the portal. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Because they haven't seen you play in a year or two.
Yep.
No, 100%. Or I mean, like, JUCO is another option.
For sure.
Again, like you said, if you're going to go play, I'm not going to go sit even at a Fresno State if it's, where I know I'm going to go play at Fresno City or Reedley or COS or whatever JUCO you're at or whatever you're, it's just another option. I love to bring up the fit part, even in the big leagues for you. And I bet you most guys have that. It came down to fit. I love that. I love that it still relates to your professional career.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's just like, you got to be realistic with your situation and what's going on and, where you think you're going to get the most playing time. So.
Yeah, I hope it works out. I hope when you were talking to like that whole thing, all I like, Loop could be the next Adam Duvall, where like the Braves rejuvenate the career and get like all-star status and a big contract after, which I hope for. But that's just like what came to my mind when you were talking about that, like the fit and like that jacks me up, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's what the guy told me. He was like, I want you to be our Adam Duvall. Like, I want you to do so well this year. I have to pay you a ton of money next year. And it's like, yes, I do too, because I want to do that.
I do too.
But that won't happen if I'm not. I gotta play. You
Right.
gotta play. You gotta play.
No, I'm excited for you too, man. Obviously being a Braves fan, with you and Dylan on there, it's going to be cool to see, even with Connor and the Phillies, some freaking Valley talent in one division's pretty neat.
Just fit change up.
Pretty gross.
Yeah, dude, they're all nasty. They're all.
No, I know. Yeah, you step in that box, you're about to see something disgusting.
Yeah, there's some wiffle ball thrown up there nowadays.
Nah, dude, I appreciate it. I know we're a little short today, but I appreciate you taking time. It's always fun to talk to you. I'm excited for this opportunity. Like Chad, I can see you play. You're talking. I'm visualizing you playing left field already. I just hope good health. Get after it, dude. We're behind you. This whole town is. We love to see all you guys have success, man. Really do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guy. What? Dog's knocking stuff over. Oh, sorry, boss. No, appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm excited to go show out for the Valley and see what I can do.
Hell yeah, man! Go Braves!
Go Loop!
Go Loop! Yeah,
go Loop!
That's another episode of the Hit or Die podcast.
Hit or Die.